Have you ever had one of those mornings when your mind is loud and confident? Let's do it. But your body whispers or sometimes flat out insists, absolutely not. Maybe you lined up a brutal workout, a long run, a heavy gym session, or a demanding day at work, a major presentation, or an intense project that would need every ounce of your attention. Mentally, you felt ready, motivated, determined, fired up. But something felt off. Your energy was different, your focus wasn't sharp, your limbs felt heavy, recovery felt incomplete. And despite your best intentions, performance suffered. Most people chalk that up to motivation. It isn't. In many cases, it's biology. Today, I want to walk you through one of the most powerful concepts in modern health intelligence, the Readiness Score. It's a metric crafted to answer a deceptively simple but crucial question. Should you push harder today, or should you recover? Because one of the biggest mistakes we make is confusing willingness with readiness. For decades, we lived with a simple cultural script: more effort equals better results. Work harder, train harder, push harder, grind harder, sleep less, outwork everyone, ignore fatigue, stress, and recovery, and eventually success will arrive. Modern physiology tells a very different story. The human body does not improve during effort. It improves during recovery. Muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow afterward. The brain doesn't strengthen during pressure. It strengthens through adaptation after stress. Performance isn't created by training alone, it's created by the balance between stress and recovery. That balance is exactly what readiness attempts to measure. Imagine driving a high-performance sports car. Your dashboard isn't there to impress you. It's there to help you make smarter decisions. Fuel level, engine temperature, oil pressure, battery status. Those readouts tell you whether it's safe to push the accelerator. If the engine is overheating, bearing the throttle becomes a terrible idea. The same logic applies to your body. You have a dashboard too, but until recently, few of us could see it. Modern wearable technology has changed that. For the first time in human history, we can track recovery continuously, night after night, day after day, in real life. Readiness scores try to translate that stream of physiological data into something actionable. Let's clear up a big misconception. A readiness score is not measuring motivation, discipline, or character. It's not judging you, it's measuring biology, trying to estimate how prepared your body is to handle additional stress. Every day, your body is juggling multiple stressors: physical, mental, emotional, environmental. Sleep debt, travel, illness, inflammation, work pressure, and exercise all pull on the same physiological resources. Even positive events, an exhilarating trip, a wedding, a huge win, create stress. The body doesn't care whether the stress came from a marathon or a tense meeting, it still has to process both. Over time, those costs accumulate. That's what readiness seeks to capture. So what feeds into readiness? Let's break it down. The first pillar is sleep. Not just how long you sleep, but the quality of that sleep. Deep sleep and REM, consistent bedtimes, and sleep timing all matter. Sleep is where much of recovery happens. Growth hormone pulses, immune regulation, neural repair, metabolic maintenance, memory consolidation, and emotional processing. If sleep deteriorates, readiness often follows, sometimes even when you feel fine. The second pillar is heart rate variability, or HRV. Think of HRV as a window into the autonomic nervous system, your body's balance between fight or flight and rest and digest. A flexible, resilient nervous system shows variability. A system under strain becomes rigid. When HRV slips below your personal baseline, it can be an early warning sign of accumulated stress. Poor sleep, inflammation, travel fatigue, emotional strain, or excessive training load. It's not a perfect signal, but it's one of the most informative physiological markers we currently have. The third pillar is resting heart rate. Most people fixate on heart rate during workouts, but your resting heart rate tells its own story. When recovery is strong, resting heart rate tends to stay steady. As stress accumulates, it often creeps up, sometimes just a few beats per minute, but those small shifts matter. Over weeks and months, patterns emerge, and patterns, more than single measurements, are where the real intelligence lives. This leads to a crucial lesson. Single data points are interesting. Trends are transformative. A one-off low readiness score is usually noise. 5 declining scores in a row are a story. One poor night of sleep is not a crisis. 3 weeks of poor recovery is a signal. Biology speaks in patterns, not isolated moments. Imagine 2 people waking up with the same low readiness signal: fragmented sleep, suppressed HRV, elevated resting heart rate, and high stress. Person 1 ignores it. They train hard, push aggressively, and add more stress to an already overloaded system. Maybe they get away with it once or twice. Eventually, performance suffers, injury risk rises, and recovery becomes more difficult. The body begins to fight back. Person 2 sees the same signals and responds differently, not by quitting, but by adapting. Instead of a maximal strength session, they choose targeted recovery, a gentle mobility routine, a brisk walk, a steady zone 2 ride, deep breathing exercises, light stretching, or an earlier bedtime. They reduce incoming stress, intentionally dialing down intensity so the body can catch up. A day like that doesn't set them back. It sets them up for a stronger comeback. When it's time to perform, they do so with more resilience and capacity. The difference isn't motivation, it's timing. That's one of the most misunderstood ideas in fitness. Recovery is not weakness. Recovery is strategy. Elite athletes and professional teams get this. The best performers in the world do not train at maximum intensity every day. They stress the system intelligently and then allow adaptation to occur. Adaptation creates progress, not punishment. And that's where a readiness score becomes powerful, not as an arbitrary number to chase, but as a decision-making tool. Its value comes from asking a higher quality question: what does my body need today? Push, recover, adapt, or restore? The answer will vary from day to day, and that's normal. Humans are not machines, we're biological systems that fluctuate. One of the most dangerous myths in modern culture is that consistency means doing the same thing every day. It doesn't. Real consistency means showing up intelligently. Sometimes the correct move is intensity, sometimes it's recovery. The skill is knowing the difference, and that skill often determines long-term success, not just in fitness, but in life. This philosophy sits at the heart of what I believe health intelligence should become. It's not about collecting more data or creating dashboards that overwhelm. It's about translating physiology into meaningful decisions, interpretation, context, actionable insight. The future of health isn't more numbers, it's better understanding. Numbers alone don't change behavior. Understanding does. At OXYZEN, our vision is simple. Help people understand their biology before biology forces them to pay attention. Identify stress before burnout. Spot recovery deficits before performance declines. Detect physiological drift before symptoms appear, not through fear or obsession, but through calm, clear awareness, because awareness creates better decisions, and better decisions create better outcomes. So the next time you wake and wonder, should I push harder today? Pause. Ask a different question. Is my body ready? Readiness isn't about how badly you want success or how disciplined you are. It's about whether your biology is prepared to support the effort you're about to demand. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is recover, not because you're weak, but because you're intentionally preparing for your next period of growth. I'm Dr. Yende. Thanks for joining me for another episode of OXYZEN Health Intelligence. Remember, your body is constantly talking. The future belongs to those who learn how to listen. I'll see you in the next episode.